Okay, it's now 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This time, please come forward for the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day that you've allowed us to gather here, and you've appointed these council people to look after our city, Lord. Give them guidance and wisdom as they set apart their task. And thank you so much for all our first responders and our law enforcement that serve and protect this community. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Bryce. All right, Ms. Davis, would you please verify the roll?
All are present except Ms. Hinkle and Ms. Hubbard.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the prepared agenda?
So moved. Second.
Motion, a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is citizens' comments, and citizens' comments should be no longer than 3 minutes in length. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council? If not, we'll move on to new business, and first on the agenda is Chief John Scarborough.
Good evening. So I have nothing to add other than the report, unless you guys have any questions on what I've sent you. Nothing? Always a typing, right?
Yeah.
I will say that Miss Hinkle, she's not here, but she's been a rock star as far as the policy review for us. Out of the 95, she's done 89 of them. And she only has 6 left, so third, she's my favorite because she gets them all done.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I've told Mr. Moody, I've told Captain Pryor about your lockout. We'll get with you tomorrow and get it fixed.
Thank you.
I do have a question about those policies.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yes. So will the municipal league, will they review those changes and make sure that they're comfortable with? And I know there weren't a lot of changes. I assume that that's a policy that they've looked at before.
So the way those are written, and I can't remember the specifics, the colors designate if it's a state law, federal law, or whatever. If it's in black, we can change it to match our department, and it doesn't change the legality of any of it.
Gotcha.
So nobody from municipal league has to review it after we make our changes, because we can only change what's in the black lettering.
Gotcha. Good. Laptops up and
Running and everything's good. The guys are, I mean, as you can tell, I know you never got the citation numbers before we got the laptops, but I can assure you they are way more than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Just for the ease of use.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Chief, you had some graduates as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So today we were at Paragould and so Officer Silas, he's one of our new officers, and this is Officer Madison Van Anton. They both graduated Black River Technical College today. They should start work tomorrow and start working towards being fully certified law enforcement officers. I will add, Madison got one of the top performers in her group for our physical fitness. So,
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
now we're going to keep her that way.
Yeah. Well, welcome, guys. Glad to have you.
Thank you all.
And all the instructors bragged on both of them, said they were some outstanding candidates cadets they had in the academy. So we're proud of them.
Good deal.
Good.
Welcome. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right, Chief. Appreciate you. Thank you. Any other questions for Chief or anything? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. And Mr. Damon Johnson's Public Works Engineer.
It's never good when you show up with books.
We'll get to that.
All right, so move this up here where y'all can hear me. I guess the first thing, which is we ought to cover, is something fun and exciting. We had a meeting today. The mayor and I, several of our staff, Lowen, and chamber with our parks team, essentially. The plans are complete, 100%. Our construction manager at risk has gone out and taken bids on their all the subscopes, and basically they brought us numbers and are ready to go to work. CMAR contracts are a little bit different. We already have a contract with the contractor, but right now it's for $0. And so we make an amendment once we actually know what the cost of the work will be. And that's kind of what we're coming to you tonight for. They brought us the numbers. The construction total is $22,568,000 and $568,000.56. And then there are still some other costs associated with the project that are outside the construction costs, such as some fees, some parts of the project that we'll have to pick out, like AV and stuff like that. But essentially, Clark will be sending the mayor an amendment to the contract to go from $0 to the $22 million number that I just gave you, which of course I've scribbled all over this one, but I have a clean copy in email if y'all are interested in this. But as a general rule, when we do a contract amendment or accept, in the old ways of doing like the low bidder, we would bring it to you guys to accept that bid. We vetted this pretty hard. This project started about $40 million and we've got it down to 22, and we're still getting what we wanted. We did cut out some things that we really wanted, but that we didn't need, but the basics are all here. And this is a good number, what I'm saying. We had really good subcontractor interest. We had 4 to 5 contractors bid on almost every scope, which is rare. And especially on a project that has so much, I think he said there's 51 subcontracts that they're going to have on this project. So there's a lot of different little components. Some of them are substantial. A lot of them are, will be good for the subcontractor that's doing it, but might not be considered that big a project by itself. But as a whole, it adds up pretty big. So I would ask that if you guys are good with that we accept, make a motion and give the mayor permission to move forward with that contract amendment. And that way, their dirt subcontractor may be on site as early as next week if we execute the amendment with Clark. So that's really good. We're going to see work start quick. They're ready to go to work. Of course, they also have a time limit and they need to get done before December 26th. So
December 26th, that's what I was going to ask. Okay.
Yeah, so the full completion of the project should be December 26th. Yeah. So.
What does this number come in as far as what you thought in the beginning? Is it a lot more than we had thought in the beginning, or is it right on?
No, it's basically where we expected. Just kind of the single largest component of the project is the event center. When we started, we kind of said we think that we could dedicate around $10 million to the event center. It came in at 9. We got it down to 9.4. At one point, it was $12.5 million building, and that single component, and that's of course the parking lot. That's the whole event center, but we were able to make a lot of adjustments and get it down under the $10 million mark. So, we had some benchmarks about, hey, what's a reasonable amount of money to spend in specific areas, like inclusive play one area where we brought lighting lighting the park. The park's going to be lit, but we probably would have liked to put twice as much lighting out there as we've gone with. But I mean, that's those. But we basically had to create or let the lighting people create a plan that was safe but not overly lit, and so that's kind of where it'll end up when it's built. But so we had to work to get to these numbers, but we're good.
If I may interject, and we did not lose any square footage.
Yeah, on the event.
So we're still with what we started out with from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, and Clark Construction, they pretty much value engineered it and have really done a really good job.
Yeah.
Of doing that.
Our whole team has done good. Taggart has designed the event center. Clark's the contractor who's really helped us value engineer it, and then EDG is the company that's basically handled the park, the play, and the landscaping and all that stuff. So it's been a good team, and we're ready to start construction. So we need to, if you guys are good with that, make a motion and vote on it. If not, we can have more discussion.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the report as presented.
Motion and a second. Do you have any further discussion? Not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign.
All right, good deal. Moving on to our other big project, water treatment plant project is making good progress. We have 2 structures completely excavated. If you drive by there, you might be able to see down in from the road. Where the concrete contractor is tying rebar and preparing to pour slabs on those structures. You can see we've stockpiled a lot of dirt on the park side that came from the water plant in an effort to that was coordinated, but that will save importing some dirt to the water. There's a lot of dirt work still to do in the park, but we seized that opportunity to save a little money on the parks project by depositing that dirt that came out of the water plant excavations over there. I don't know. The weather's kind of delayed, and they've got a lot of mud and stuff washed in there, so they're going to have to clean their rebar, and so probably going to delay some concrete pouring a week or so, but the water treatment plant project is on a good track right now. We've got a long ways to go, but still moving forward, still doing well. The current water plant handled the high water event and the high turbidities very well. We didn't have any issues. We were preparing if the water got high enough. There is a point where we have to stop, turn off the intake structure. Fortunately, we never did have to reach that point. So things had been going fairly well there at the water plant of late. Wastewater is the ponds are brimming full, 11 inches of rain, and high flood waters, which puts manholes underwater, which allows essentially river water to get into the system. We have most of our modern recent manholes have had sealed manhole lids put on them that actually bolt down and seal, but there's still a lot of old ones, especially in certain parts of town that are low that aren't sealed. And so the ponds are completely full. The plant's treating it just fine, and actually today we're actually sending more water out than we're getting in, but for about a week it was not that way. We were getting a lot more in. In fact, some days we were receiving a million gallons an hour, so the max we can treat is 10 million a day. So we're moving in the right direction now. So hopefully we'll have a reprieve from the rain, and we'll settle everything down. Along with the floods, things like the last several council meetings, there's been some big catastrophe that we've talked about. As you know, we've had a flood, high water event. We were fortunate. It peaked at less than 25. 27 feet is really where it starts causing us significant problems that aren't just debris and and messes, which is what we potentially have. I mean, we haven't investigated everything. We may have some erosion here or there, but it won't be any major damage, which is good. But we put in the flood wall in total, first time ever. I think that has happened. There was concern with the 25-foot peak, and sometimes they miss with their predictions, and they have missed low before. So it took us 2 full days to put in all the flood wall stop logs. So that was a good lesson. We all worked hard Friday and Saturday, and I just commend essentially almost all the labor staff in the city of Batesville was at work on Friday and Saturday, many of which Friday was their day off. And of course, Saturday was everybody's day off. And we worked, we had people out till 10 o'clock both nights. And of course, the PD was helpful, and the fire department were helpful as well. The fire department helped make sandbags, and PD kept us. They were great at keeping us informed of where streets were going under and where we were seeing flash flooding, and they put out barricades to try to accommodate when, with flash flooding, you have streets that flood instantly, and then the rain slows down, and 30 minutes later they're clear, and so there's a big cat and mouse game with barricades around town, while most everybody else was trying to put the flood wall in, because there was concern that we could potentially see some serious, they originally predicted 27 feet, and that at that point, the flood wall becomes necessary. It was a great effort from all of our people, and I think we're very, very, very fortunate. And as usual, in the time of need, I'm very impressed with our employees, our staff, our leadership, and it's just we have a good team. So seems like that's kind of a common theme we've been talking about lately, but it just keeps happening, so we just keep addressing it. So I just can't be thankful enough. Again, I'll say it makes me and the mayor look good when they're doing all the work, and all I do is offer a little advice here and there. So we have good, smart, hardworking people. My next thing is our Safe Streets for All grant that we are wrapping up, where we created a safety action plan for the city of Batesville. So that Safe Streets for All is a federal program that we received a grant 2 years ago, and to do this study. And essentially, the goal of it is it's a federal goal to reduce all accidents to zero deaths. I'm sorry, not to go to zero accidents, but where there's no fatalities associated with accidents on our roadways. So now that the plan is done, that's these 2 books that I have here. I have 2 hard copies. We also have it digitally. Next meeting, which in 2 weeks, we will have on the agenda a resolution to adopt this plan. And so before we presented a resolution for you to adopt something that's a lot of pages and a lot of information, I wanted you guys to have the opportunity to review this. And so I have these 2 hard copies that any of you are welcome to take if you would like after the meeting tonight. If you want me to try to send you the digital copy, I can probably put it in a Dropbox link and send it to you guys. It's not as much information as it looks. It is a lot of information, but it's not as many words as it looks. There's lots of tables. There's lots of summary of what we did and the methodology. I forgot Rob and Fred actually participated in some of our walking surveys, whatever you want to call them, that we did as part of this plan. So it's good. It puts us in a pipeline for the Safe Streets for All federal grant program now. We've already received a second grant for some demonstration activities was about a $600,000 grant. And then moving forward, we will continue to seek grants that will improve our roadway system that fall in line with this document. So it's exciting. It's going to help us to improve, and it's not just for cars, it's for all users of the roadway. So alternative, that means bicycles, pedestrians, scooters. So it takes lots of those things in consideration, and actually recognizes that maybe vehicles is not the number one focus as we move forward in modern roadway design and demand. But anyway, that's all the engineering report I have for you guys tonight. I hope I didn't bore you to tears. A lot going on. Do you want to do, is this next on the agenda, the ordinance?
It can be.
Yeah.
We can, but we'd have to get out of line.
Okay, well,
We
can
don't,
come back.
I don't have any problem getting out of line.
I'll let it work. I'll leave and I'll come
Okay,
back.
so we'll let you get up and come back. All right. All right. Well, we need to get Chief Mark McCullum up here anyway, so.
Sorry and dirty. We've been at the river cleaning Kennedy Park trying to make it, and we got it open. So it's open tonight.
Good deal.
Want to start out, I put January through March, but that's incorrect. This is just March numbers on this. I don't know. This is a new program that we've just started with, and last month was kind of a trial basis month. So there's probably some information in there that's not in there, and it's just kind of a trial run this time. But of course, you can read there what we've been doing. Of course, during the deal, like Damon said, we helped sandbag and with everybody else. Just about everybody chipped in on it. I guess the question, well, one thing, we did have some roof repairs on Station 3. After the new roof was put on, the wind, we had that wind coming through, and it blew all the dang covers off of the roof, off the pipes coming up for like vent pipes, and blew all of them away, so we had water coming in all the pipes. So we replaced all the vent covers and stuff on that. I guess everybody's wanting to hear about the tornado sirens. Just go ahead and knock that now. To answer everybody's question, yes, we are putting in tornado sirens. We're not putting them in, we're repairing the ones that are there. What everybody heard the other night was 2 sirens out of 6. We know where all 6 sirens are. We're pretty sure we got enough equipment to make them all work. If we don't, we do have a backup plan that's not going to be really that expensive to convert them over. The Lackey and the mayor actually come to me and asked me if there was something that we could do with them and try to get them going. I went to Barry Wilkes at Wilkes Communication, and he jumped on board, and Barry, he worked on them, I think, the afternoon. He got the second one going of the storms, the last storms we had. So that tells you we were right there on the line with that. One thing I do want to say something about the storm room. Out of 3 nights, the first night we had 120 people probably. The second night we had 80. This last night we had over 200 people. It was so bad that I actually got in my truck and went to churches and spotted all the churches that was letting people in their basements, and I was redirecting people to those places. It was about 120, 130 people is about all you want in that virus. So it's pretty cramped. But we got everybody took care of, made sure that everybody was safe. It's about it, other than what's on here. If there's any questions.
Motion 6 on
Okay, I knew you was gonna ask me this. Fairgrounds, well, let's start with the two we got in. We got the one in at Murphy there at the bottom of Eagle Mount Boulevard, and we got the one at Chestnut and Central. Those are the two sirens. So if you heard sirens, that was the two places they came from. Fairgrounds, there's one. Right there at Lyon College is one. Let me think. Lyon College, Eagle Mountain, Chestnut, Fairgrounds.
Should be one by the school somewhere, right?
No,
The one at Dogwood or?
no, where is it? The other two.
Okay.
I had them. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss. Do that.
Okay, you're there. Chestnut and Central.
Mhm.
Central and White Drive. White Drive in the county yard. So out of,
Yeah, Central White Drive's Fairgrounds. I'm sorry.
yeah, White Drive in the county yard is out by the armory.
That would be number 7 because I found
Lawrence and
something.
Allen,
Yeah, Lawrence Street.
St. Louis and Harrison,
That's it. That's
Pioneer in the high school. Pioneer at the high school.
we hadn't seen that one either. I thought there was only 6, so we may have about 8 of them.
Harrison Street and Eagle Mountain, that's the one you got going. Mockingbird and Quail Valley Drive meet.
Text that list in.
Yep.
I want to get them all going.
And these were actually installed during the 90s. Is that correct?
Oh, yes,
And
sir.
they were installed,
Early
I think,
90s, I
during,
believe.
wasn't it David White's term?
Yes, sir.
During his
Yes, sir.
term. And when I took office in '07, there was a lot of questions, and I kept hearing, well, they're not worth messing with. And so, of course, these other later events, we started, and Mark and even actually Barry said, I think we can get this old system. Of course, they were put in by the county.
Correct.
And so, and they used to manage them. And so now we have taken basically over control. We're just sitting there. And, I want to, let everybody know, sirens are just another way of contacting, but don't rely on sirens all the time because they're going to be activated by a human.
They're just
And
a tool
so
in the tool.
we're trying to work that process out. Right now, I think Chief can activate it with his radio.
Mhm.
The other night, he gave me a call, and of course, there have been these clouds being, reported, Meta Heights, Cushman. And so I said, well, bump them. Let's might as well. But we're also trying to see some type of a texting service. We do have one here, if we can activate that also. But one other thing, I think, notifications, Chief.
Yes.
Would you elaborate on the notifications on your phone?
On all smartphones, Android and Apple, there is, you can go into the settings, go into notifications, and in notifications, it gives you options on what alerts you want to get, whether it be Amber Alerts, weather alerts, emergency like flooding, whatever you want to get alerts on all smartphones. So, and I'm going to put all this information out on our Facebook page and try to teach everybody how to make those operate, because they worked on my phone on flood warnings and stuff like that. Now, just because there's a warning in Independence County doesn't mean that you're going to, like a tornado warning, doesn't mean that you're going to get this alert if it's not actually threatening you. I think they've got this set up now that they can, it's not like Independence County, you got tornado warning, you need to take cover. They can narrow it down to a strip about where it's going to be.
Siren fatigue, right?
Yes.
You don't want to go off unless you.
Right. And that's something else. I'm going to get, Pico does have a siren that's manually set off like us. I'm going to get with their people, and I haven't contacted them yet, but I'm going to talk to them about maybe when they test theirs every week, and we'll just hit ours the same time they do, and that way they ain't hearing a siren here today and there tomorrow, and that way we can do that. We need to do a test either weekly, monthly, or whatever they do. But me and the mayor needs to get together and decide at what point do we set these off? Is it Independence County warning? Batesville's at threat warning? Where we need to go, and that's still in the works. That's not something that we need to make a decision on overnight. I don't think.
We used to get phone calls, years ago. They
Oh,
would
yeah.
call you.
That was
And,
Yeah.
right. And so they don't even offer that service anymore because we don't even have that office anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah. So, yes, I can remember a long time ago, you used to call Citizens Bank, get time and temperature.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sure.
All right, does anyone have any more questions for the chief? Yeah, I appreciate you,
Thank
chief.
you.
Appreciate your crew. That sandbagging, like I said, last, I believe Friday, they started at 7:30 in the morning and manually filled the sandbags. FEMA actually set up an oil crawl. We ended up making a run there. They did not get set up till what time on the sandbagging?
It was noon or after.
Noon or after. So we just had so many, but like I said, those guys did a fantastic job. And like I said, it was a team effort.
Yeah, they-
Everybody pitched in. So thank you guys.
They actually had a tornado threat that was supposed to be headed through there as they were bagging the sandbags there. And they all had to go take cover at the school and then come back and start bagging again. So that was kind of scary. Thank you.
Absolutely. And special thanks to White River Material also. They loaned us actually one of their cement trucks loaded with sand. And we manually loaded, I think, over 200 bags with that out at City Yard. So anyway, all right, let's move forward. Next on the agenda is to consider a resolution authorizing the mayor to submit an application to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for an economic development project. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. Okay, council, please cast your votes. Okay, Mr. Meissen?
Yes, sir. A resolution authorizing the mayor of Batesville to submit an application to the Arkansas Economic Development Commission for an economic development project.
Of course, you guys saw in the resolution, this is for LaCroix Optical. Excited about this project. Is there any other discussion? If not, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. Council, please cast your votes.
Motion.
Okay, next on the agenda is consider a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an administrative agreement with White River Planning and Development District Incorporated. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
Motion. Second.
Motion to second. Council, please cast your votes. Okay, Mr. Meissen?
Sir, a resolution authorizing the mayor of Batesville, Arkansas to enter into administrative agreement with the White River Planning and Development District, Inc.
Okay, any discussion? If not, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay, next is resolution. Consider a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Batesville to utilize federal aid transportation alternatives program or recreational trails program funds. Would someone like to introduce the resolution?
I will.
Motion. Is there a motion to read the resolution by title only?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second. Okay, please cast your votes, council. Okay, Mr. Meissen?
Sir, a resolution expressing the willingness of the city of Batesville, Arkansas to utilize federal aid transportation alternative program or recreational trails program funds.
Okay, any discussion? Is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved. Second.
Motion to second. Council, please cast your votes. Okay, at this time, on the agenda, consider an ordinance to modify fees and rates to be charged by the Batesville Water and Sewer Utilities. And we'll have Mr. Clint Crane and Mr. Damon Johnson to come forward discuss some of the changes.
Yeah, till we were done like a formal introduction of Clint, these are,
Maybe we have at the mayor's meeting, but I mean, the city-county connection, but we have not formally here, so.
So, Clint, Nick's actually, and Clint is, come on, thank Nick place, do his duties. So essentially, for your consideration, and I'll give you the broad strokes, and then if you have fine detailed questions, we'll let Clint answer those. But essentially, we have our rate ordinance, which we adopted, I think the end of 23, somewhere in there, after we did the last rate ordinance. And what we've learned is some of these procedures and the way we charge some fees with regard to disconnection and other things the way the ordinance is written doesn't work very well in real life. And so we've kind of gotten where we're not really operating by the ordinance that's on the books right now. And what this is intended to clean up that language to make it more realistic to how we're operating. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So, it's pretty much, I mean, and I think we're just asking to put this on the first reading tonight. No reason. It doesn't have to be passed in a hurry. So you guys can review these changes, which, if you read through all this, it kind of describes, the changes that are being made or being suggested. So, you may not have any detailed questions at the moment. Whatever, if you've got anything else you want to add, feel free.
I mean, it's pretty simple. It's just coming at this with a common sense look on it, kind of get rid of some of the legal jargon and make it flow. Again, there was some extra fees in there I don't think we need. And then also, I think it's, we can move in this direction. It's going to save the city money as well. There's an after hours program there that it's really not even used, but to have from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. open to pay a technician to drive from Pleasant Plains to pick up a truck and drive to Sandtown and turn water on at 2 a.m. there's not a lot of common sense in that. And as far as overtime and just to get out. So things like that, just to clean it up and make it more feasible to operate.
Okay. You don't have any discussion. Like I said, I'd like to recommend that we put this on the second reading, but to do that, would someone like to introduce the ordinance? Okay. Is there a motion to read the ordinance by title only?
So moved.
Please. Second. Have a motion second. Council, please cast your votes. Okay. Mr. Meitzen?
Yes, sir. An ordinance modifying fees and rates to be charged by Batesville Water and Sewer Utilities for water and sewer services, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
Okay. So if the ordinance, if the council is good with it, we'll go ahead and place this on the second reading, and let's give you time to kind of look at it, digest it, and we'll, like I said, we'll put it on the next.
Yeah, we'll come back next meeting and y'all can ask us questions if you want to.
Okay.
You can ask Clint questions.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Thank you, Damon. Clint, appreciate it. Okay. All right, next is consider an ordinance amending the budget adopted December the 12th, 2023 for the 12 months beginning January 1st, 2024. And I know that Mr. Deese Johnson came down and kind of walked us through this, didn't she? And with that being said, would someone like to introduce the ordinance?
I will.
Is there a motion to read the ordinance by title only?
I will. Motion second.
Have a motion second. Okay, council, please cast your votes. Okay, Mr. Meitzen?
Yes, sir. An ordinance amending budget adopted December 12th, 2023 for the 12 months beginning January 1st, 2024 pertaining to revenues and expenditures and certain funds and classifications set out herein and for other purposes.
Okay, is there any discussion? Not, is there a motion to further suspend the rules and waive the second and third readings?
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Please cast your votes, council. Okay, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Mr. Moody, please cast your votes. Okay. And we don't have to have an emergency clause on this one, so let's go ahead and move forward. All right, next on the agenda is an executive session for actually an appointment. Is everyone in favor of move to go into executive session?
Yes,
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
You got a motion.
You'll motion it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Yeah. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, we are in executive session. Okay, coming out of executive session, and we have an appointment to the,
Revenues.
what is it, agency, the Batesville Housing Authority.
Yes.
And, Mr. Roberts,
Yes, I'd like to make a recommendation that we nominate Luann Gregory to a 5-year term on the Batesville Housing Authority Board. Second.
have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, like sign. Okay, in the packet, you'll also find the 2020, March 25 financials. So if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to give me a shout or Ms. Davis. And let's move on into mayor comments. And the only comment, I just want to say thanks again to all of our employees. Also, thank all of them for that assisted in Cave City. I know we've got, like I said, we didn't have to even make the call. Our employees were there the night of the tornado, and they were there for weeks after. So Mayor Jonas Anderson is very appreciative of all the assistance. One other thing I would like to mention is our new parks superintendent, Mr. Lowen Lermit. Okay, I'm going to get that now. It's just kind of like Ellen Ball. But we're proud to announce that Lowen has started yesterday. And I think everybody will find that Lowen he was with us for 8 years. And I'm looking forward to his leadership over the next many years. So thanks to Lowen for accepting the job. And like I said, I think the Parks Department, along with he and Mr. Owens, is going to be in good shape. So looking forward to his employment. All right, next meeting is going to be April the 22nd. And before I've got another purchase out of our perpetual fund. We did the slide restoration at the water park. If you guys noticed, it was really getting faded, and it was $28,348. But I need a motion to take that out of the perpetual maintenance fund.
So moved.
second.
Have a motion a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. One other thing on the fixed asset disposal, we don't need any motion or anything on this, just make sure we get it documented in our minutes. But a Freightliner Sprinter van, unit C430, it's been replaced with a 2025 Sierra Camera trailer. And the IT department was in much need of a van to service. And so that has been transferred to the IT department. I think we got a bid of 4,000 and the thing only had like 18,000 miles. So it should service the IT department for many years. And let's move on to liaison reports. Do we have any? If not, Ms. Davis, if you would call the roll for council comments.
I just have a question. The kiddie pool at the community center, is it back operational?
It is. I believe I saw the sign. Is it up? And they were doing plastering today.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be at the first of the week.
Perfect.
I think that's what.
The lap pool is open now,
But the lap pool.
Yes.
but the kiddie pool, no.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it should be at the first of the week.
Good job.
Yes.
Good deal.
And it's being, like I said, plaster and everything, and that will actually probably come out of our perpetual maintenance fund as well.
The only other thing is to say thank you to everybody that helped with the devastation we've seen last few weeks.
Mr. Frederick?
None.
Mr. Krug?
None.
Mr. Moody?
None.
Mr. Reeves?
None.
Mr. Roberts?
None.
Okay, with that being said, we have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. We are adjourned.
Scott.